forest, the Smith family embarked on what was meant to be a relaxing vacation. Excited chatter filled the air as they set up their campsite, surrounded by towering trees and an eerie silence. As night fell, strange noises began to echo through the darkness. Branches rustled ominously, and shadows danced in the flickering light of their campfire. Mrs. Smith tried to dismiss her unease, but a chill ran down her spine as she heard whispered voices just beyond the trees. Ignoring her growing sense of dread, Mr. Smith suggested they tell ghost stories to lighten the mood. But with each tale they shared, the forest seemed to grow darker, and the atmosphere more oppressive. Suddenly, their youngest daughter, Emily, went missing. Panic-stricken, the family searched frantically, calling out her name into the impenetrable darkness. Hours passed with no sign of her, and fear gripped their hearts like icy claws. Just as they were about to give up hope, they heard Emily's faint cries for help. Following the sound, they stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin hidden deep within the forest. Inside, they found Emily, trembling and pale, but unharmed. Relieved, they quickly made their way back to their campsite, vowing never to return to the haunted forest again. But as they packed up their belongings, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched by unseen eyes, and that the forest held secrets far more terrifying than they could ever imagine. As the Smith family hastily packed their belongings, they couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Mr. Smith cast a wary glance around the forest, his nerves on edge. But despite their unease, they managed to load up their car and drive away from the eerie forest. Hours passed, and the family tried to put the terrifying events behind them. But as they approached the outskirts of town, they noticed something unsettling. In the rearview mirror, they glimpsed a shadowy figure standing by the side of the road, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Frozen in fear, they watched as the figure vanished into the darkness, leaving them shaken to the core. What had they encountered in the forest? And what secrets did it hold? As they drove away, they couldn't shake the feeling that their nightmare was far from over, and that the horrors of the forest would haunt them forever. Weeks passed, and the Smith family tried to return to their normal lives, but the memory of their harrowing experience in the forest lingered like a dark cloud over their minds. Strange occurrences began to plague them. Objects moved on their own, whispers echoed through their home in the dead of night, and unsettling shadows danced just beyond their line of sight. Desperate for answers, they turned to experts in the paranormal, but even they were unable to explain the inexplicable events that tormented them. Some suggested that they had awakened something malevolent in the forest, while others warned that they were being targeted by vengeful spirits. As the days turned into weeks, the Smith family lived in a state of constant fear, never knowing when the next terrifying encounter would occur. And as the shadows grew longer and the nights grew darker, they realized that their nightmare was far from over, and that they may never escape the clutches of the forest's sinister secrets.